perceives the second dimension. He can walk around and figure out she's a rectangle, but he actually only sees a straight line when he sees her. I said, okay, I got you. He said, now you and I can see two dimensions. We see the width and the height, but we perceive the depth. You can't really see depth. You can understand depth because you have two eyes looking at this thing and you get what's called depth perception. I said, I got it. But actually, you could take a photograph of what you're looking at and it would still look the same. You would perceive the depth because of our common experience, but you can't really see depth. I said, I got it. He said, now suppose you want to introduce yourself to Mr. Flat and Mrs. Flat. So you stick your finger through the table, and Mr. Flat comes over and looks at it and says, oh, I see a circle, the cross-section of your finger. Over here you stick 3 fingers through the table, and Mrs. Flat comes and looks at him and says, oh, honey, I've seen Kent Hovind. He's 3 circles. Mr. Flat says, no, honey, he's 1 circle. And they're going to fight for a while and argue, and finally they're going to split the church and start the church of the 3 circles and the church of the 1 circles. But the fact is, neither one of them has a clue what I'm like. You simply can't put a 3-dimensional being into 2 dimensions. They're not going to ever get it. Well, if you read Ephesians chapter 3, it says that we may be able to comprehend with all saints what is the length and depth and breadth and height. The length and depth and breadth and height. There's 4 dimensions. I think there's an awful lot more to God than we can possibly comprehend in our little 3-dimensional world. Just like Mr. Flat and Mrs. Flat are not going to get it about a 3-dimensional person, I don't think we 3-dimensional persons are ever going to get it to understand God. But when we get to heaven, we shall see Him, we shall be like Him, for we shall see Him as He is. Then we're going to say, oh, now I understand. And there are these guys going around saying God has 10 dimensions. I think that's heresy. God is infinite. He's not limited by anything whatsoever. He is absolutely God. By definition, it would have to be not limited by time, space, or matter. Next question. What about the races? Where do they come from? Well, there's no question there's a lot of different looking people on this planet. Black ones and white ones and yellow ones and tall ones and little ones, etc. But there really aren't any races. There are skin colors. There's only one race. It's called the human race. Would you say these are different races of cows? No, they're just different skin colors. Okay, and I can assure you they all look the same in the meat locker, and they all taste the same on the hamburger. Okay, they're just different skin colors, that's all. There are 4 theories of where the races come from. I don't know which is true. I suspect I do, but I'll just give you the 4 theories and tell you what I believe. One theory says Adam and Eve are medium brown, and they produced all the races, all the colors in their own children. Could be true. There's an albino, 3 albino children born to a black couple. It's just an interesting bit of trivia here. The second theory, which I do not believe, it says the Lord put a mark on Cain in Genesis chapter 4, lest any finding him should kill him. And they say Cain became a black person. I don't buy this for 1 second, but a lot of churches do.